Rewind and review with the Time Machine Guru. Yeah. You got the clock, you heard the news. Pop culture pass we like a weekly cruise. From the DeLorean, all the TV shows too. Listen, Mr. Hours has a
Rewind and review with Mr. Hours, Time Machine Guru. Hop in the time machine, where we take a weekly trip to review the best and sometimes baffling of pop culture, history, and forgotten media. Essential nostalgia podcast for fans of retro movies, classic TV, and throwback commentary. Don't just remember the past, rewind and review it. And get ready for the next episode. What's up, y'all? And welcome to Rewind and Review with Mr. Hours. This is the mini podcast where we fast forward through the best and sometimes the most baffling time machine moments in TV and movies. I'm your host, Mr. Hours. My friends call me Gene. As the executive producer and creator of Hourback Studios and the Hourback Universe, I live and breathe time travel narratives. And each week, we're going to dive deep, break down what works, what doesn't, and what makes these temporal journeys so endlessly fascinating. From time machines of yesteryear to grandfather paradoxes, butterfly effects, and bootstrap loops, we're exploring it all. So, set your clocks back because it's time to hit play and rewind and review with Mr. Hours, Time Machine Guru. Alright, y'all, the show's officially started. What's up, temporal travelers, and welcome to Rewind and Review with Mr. Hours. I'm your host, and like many of you, I spent countless hours drafting my own screenplay. I'm designing the ultimate mind-bending time machine. But first, before my creation can take the big screen, we're going to pay homage to the cinematic legends that wrote the book on temporal travel. Every week, we dissect the coolest, most iconic, and sometimes the most ridiculous time machines from our favorite movies and shows. We're going to go deep inside the circuits, the engine, the logic, and the sheer movie magic of these legendary vehicles. So if you're ready, let's start diving down into this top 10 list of the most iconic time machines. Let's go. First up, that icon that made going 88 miles per hour a truly momentous event. The DeLorean time machine from the Back to the Future trilogy. One of my favorite trilogies of all time. It came out at a very formative years of my childhood. Without further ado, let's go. Time to dissect. In this segment we call Dissection, Doc Brown's masterpiece. The DeLorean time machine is more than just a souped-up 1981 DMC-12. It's a Frankenstein monster of science and style, all centered around that glowing centerpiece, the flux capacitor. Come on, say it with me. I know when you first heard it, you have to repeat it for yourself. The flux capacitor. Now, the flux capacitor, when introduced to the concept, I totally fell for it. Like, yeah, sure. That thing makes the car go back in time. And this doc figured it all out. I quickly moved on thinking, oh, let's see this thing in action. It was the power source. The time circuits required a colossal 1.21 gigawatts of power. Hey man, that's a lot of power. In comparison, hold on, before we go on, let's dive deep into how much power is that really? It can power homes and cities. 1 gigawatt is enough to power roughly 700,000 U.S. homes. Therefore, 1.21 gigawatts could power nearly 1 million homes simultaneously at the same time, baby. What about just plain old light bulbs? The surge is equivalent to the energy needed to power more than 10 million standard light bulbs. Whoa. Power plants. In the real world, a single large-scale nuclear or coal power plant can produce 1 gigawatt or more of electricity. But here's the kicker. Here's where it fits so well into the movie. It's also lightning, which makes sense throughout the entire trilogy of the film. The power of 1.21 gigawatts is approximately the amount of a single bolt of lightning it delivers in a split second. Kraka! Which is the exact power source that Doc Brown ends up needing in the film. Okay. Now that was a great segment. So let's keep diving back into the first film. In the first film, this came from a temperamental plutonium-fueled nuclear reactor, which was stolen and not properly paid for by Doc Brown. Terrible things happen when you don't pay a terrorist. An underlying threat that was really never revisited again in the film's aftermath. Later, in the future, Doc arranged and upgraded to the magnificent garbage-fueled Mr. Fusion home energy reactor. Whoa. Which I completely was sold on. Okay, garbage to fuel? Sure, it is the future after all. But here's the key detail that throws people off. The time travel components are electrical, but the car's internal combustion engine, the thing that gets us up to that most memorable speed, as stated by the celebrities and the creators, that's why they selected the 88 miles per hour, it runs on ordinary gasoline. A fact that Marty and Doc learned the hard way back in 1885, of course, setting up an epic escape from an entire different timeline. The purpose of this vehicle, let's go inside this time machine. Its purpose is simple: to travel through time. The interior is a marvel of analog and the tech. Ooh, those chunky time circuits, wires flowing through the entire vehicle almost, inside and of course outside. The display screen to show you the destination. Another screen shows you the current location and of course the last departed dates. Truly amazing. It's a functional, beautiful mess of wires, coils, blinking lights that perfectly capture the aesthetic of a machine that shouldn't even be possible. But to us, it seems believable. And the smoke-filled box truck to introduce the vehicle made it that much more appealing. Ooh, remember that opening scene? Okay. For some mind-blowing crumbs in the film, the multiples. Now, for a time travel conundrum, is there more than one DeLorean left behind? Absolutely. Thanks to the overlapping timelines of Part 2 and 3, there are points in the past like 1955 and 1885 where multiple versions of the same DeLorean exist concurrently. In Part 3, the DeLorean Marty drives back to 1885 is different from the one Doc carefully bricked up in that abandoned mine, which later retrieves. And that timeline. Doc lives almost out his life and leaves a car for him to come back and get him. The audience only sees the timeline from Marty's point of view because he gets to be almost 60 years separation from 1985 to 1955. But the letter's well received. Remember that scene? That's what we call crossing timelines. It seems like minutes, but were actually years for a couple of the characters. It was kind of hard living out there in the Old West. Of course, the pleasures that we have today just simply didn't exist. However, Doc is not just a mad scientist, he's a genius. It's a dizzying paradox that proves Doc Brown was a master of contingency as well. Here's a prime example. The evolution of the 1981 DMC vehicle. From burning wheels to running on tracks, right? Remember that? Now the car's flying in the air. Now it's becoming a flying train DeLorean at the end. Whoa. Here's my favorite part. Time itself is now Doc's playground. All right. We are about to wrap it up. This is my weekly mini podcast, and we are already at the end. But before we go, I want to wrap it up. The DeLorean engineering is wildly inconsistent. It runs on gas, then plutonium, then garbage turns to fuel, but only the time circuits change power. Objectively, that should knock it down a peg, right? However, I give the DeLorean a magnificent 9 out of 10. Why so high, you might ask? Well, it's not because the flawless of the physics, but for the magnificent script, one of the best written time travel movies out there. And the team that brought it together, they brought it to life. It's the ultimate combination of form and function. It's the coolest looking car on the road. And its simple requirements hit that 88 miles per hour, creating some of the most thrilling cinematic moments in TV and film history. It took an unforgettable car and made it eternal. You feel the tricks that they use. How can asphalt that can withstand 900 degrees all of a sudden go in flames and leave tire markings? The road would literally need to have some type of gas or fluid and ignite the ground itself to cause those type of flames. You ask yourself, how can rubber tires create flames on its trail? It cannot, my friend. But for the film, we believed it and we loved it. Do you agree with this 9 out of 10 rating? Should the DeLorean top everyone's list? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so we have 10 more time machines to look and really see which one is the best from all these movies and all these upcoming episodes as I'm prepping for. And guess what? We're going to dissect. Tune in next week for another deep dive as we continue to prep for our own movie in its uniquely built time machine. But first, we got to pay homage. Though our screenplay is in pre-production, it's shaping up to be pretty something good. It's a passion project that we're trying to make it come real in the cinematic world of my own time travel movie, Hour Back, The Reset, Part 1, an action sci-fi thriller like no other. So thank you for listening. Well, that's it. What other time machines from your top 10 would you like me to research for our weekly segment? Remember, comment below. Find me online. I'm Gene. I'm Mr. Hours. And this is Rewind and Review with Mr. Hours, Time Machine Guru. See ya next time, my temporal time travel fans. Peace. So in honor of Back to the Future, listen to this new track called Jump to 88 by Mr. Hours. Thanks for listening, y'all. Catch y'all next
I'm setting
time.
my circuits.
Them dials are set right.
Got a full tank of gas. Need that magic number.
You gotta hit the floor hard.
Gotta tear through the street.
You need my fire trail car.
Jump to 88. Jump to 88. Hear the engine scream. Flash a light, living out a temporal dream. We glowing like a neon charge. Give me 1.21 gigawatts and make the universe large. Cause nothing beats the feeling of that DeLorean time machine. Doc Brown, oh you was a genius. A beautiful mess. Garbage for fuel. The future's finesse. Plutonium fueled and Mr. Fusion came through. But the classic V8 needs that gasoline brew. We've seen the paradoxes, the multiples found. We walk in two different timelines. Yeah, hollow ground. With wires and coils, destination displayed on the dash. A beautiful finale, look, but we still gone in the flash. We jump to 88. Jump to 88. Jump to 88. Hear the engine scream. Flash a light, living out a temporal dream. We glowing like a neon charge. Give me 1.21 gigawatts to make the universe large. Cause nothing beats the feeling of that DeLorean time machine. Jump to 88 with a flipper. of the switch and the pedal to the metal. Listen, it's not about the physics, the science is flawed. Yeah, it's a sci-fi after all, but it's the heart and the magic, the love we've poured into a fictional world that lets us explore. A trilogy full of lore, no doubt, no doubt. A simple requirement, an iconic design. Took a forgettable car and made it truly divine. And made it last a lifetime. It did. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jump to 88, hear the engine scream. Flash a light, living out a temporal dream. We glowing like a neon charge. Give me 1.21 gigawatts and make the universe large. Cause nothing beats the feeling that DeLorean time machine. Oh, the DeLorean, one of the best time machines to date. A 9 out of 10, please don't hate. That's not a bad rate. I'd hop in right now and do it all again, for G's sake. If I could, I know I would. All you gotta do is jump to 88. Oh, DeLorean, one of the best time machines to date. A 9 out of 10, don't hate. That's not a bad rate. Rewind and review with the time machine guru. Yeah. You got the clock, you heard the news. Pop culture pass we like a weekly cruise. From the DeLorean, all the TV shows too. Listen, Mr. Hours has a temporal view. Rewind and review with the time machine guru. Rewind and review. It's a time machine guru. We gon' break it